From the looks of things, looks like 419 Whiskey Delta is executing the Locust 1 arrival into the airfield.
We've seen the length of the runway at the other airfield.
I guess it's okay to talk about religion on final.
Very good.
Need all the help you can get.
Yeah, this was a bad time to figure out my reversers are not working.
I'm hoping that slight hill at the end of the runway that we approached from will work as a ramp.
I would like to say nobody ever say anything again to me about taking you into short airfields.
Do you need some help pulling your aeroplane out of the hedge?
I didn't make it, and even the Y key doesn't work.
That's seriously damaged then.
I thought the Kodiak was definitely the aircraft to fly tonight.
The sim doesn't respond anymore.
Nice drift.
That was brilliant, Joe.
Left the handbrake on.
Careful where you put that nose.
Unfortunately, there are now 2-foot-long gouges all the way down the airstrip.
I'll just get the Blackwing out of your right engine.
That was impressive, I have to say.
Can he do it again?
All I gotta say is mine was butter.
I think the most impressive accident, or fortuitous accident I've ever seen. I was on a my air flight flying the big jets and somebody lost control on approach. And they went off the side of the runway and slid the aircraft right the way across the airfield and landed exactly at a gate.
Can I just say, whoever just manoeuvred onto the runway, can you move for other aircraft coming in, please? Well, he's parked in the middle of the runway. When he was parked on the side of the runway. Sorry, I'm Mr. Grumpy tonight.
Hawks going cross country.
Yeah, just give a bit of space.
Watching like a hawk.
Yeah, a Kodiak or whatever it is now hovering in front of me. It's not a Kodiak.
I'm just watching a hawk come down a hillside.
Goes trying to take out Joe again.
Oh no.
Well, that little landing confirmed my choice of airplane for the day. The Blackwing worked quite nicely. With a 49 knot approach.
Somebody in a Bonanza's about a quarter of a mile away backing down a hill.
Everyone managed to land. There's it's like a Kodiak hovering or trying.
Yeah, I don't know whose it is. It's obviously a helicopter or Osprey or something. It can't be Osprey.
Someone in a very stiff headwind.
Now it's time for a quick cup of tea.
So probably best to take off on 3.6 down the hill and then double back on yourself. So the next heading is, I think, 94 degrees. So can you take off with full flaps? Does it create too much drag? Does it give you more lift?
It would give you more drag, but I have seen it. They do these stall competitions where they sort of apply full power, start going, and then they whap the flaps down. That seems to get them airborne, but only in sort of little stall aircraft.
Okay, here goes. Break.
Yeah, for short airfields, you can do flaps takeoffs with DC-3s.
Easy.
Looks like Luke Skywalker's practicing using the Force with the Kodiak.
It's interesting. I'm just trying out the A cars for the new virtual airline. I'm picking around at kind of in secret or on the quiet, and I've just connected A cars while the engine's running and it hasn't complained.
Oh my god, what's this kind of airport?
It's a par 4.
It's more of a putting green. Well, if people want to start heading into the air, then there's just a dark grey blob of name tags over the end of the airfield.
Someone needs to get a drone shot of this. This is cool.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Eddie.
Thank you very much.
Right, I'm going to start at the top of the grassy bank at one end to get the maximum run up.
What do you find, Jonathan?
The 850. It's powerful enough. It's just getting enough airspeed.
You just have to run fast enough.
Put my feet through the bottom, you mean, like Fred Flintstone?
Exactly.
Pull up hard on that pterodactyl.
I'll get those trees out behind the carriage later.
I was going to say, you're right there, Jonathan. Yeah.
I was going to say, Jonathan, do you want to give it a shake just to get rid of the tree branches?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be catching close because it's too twisted.
you can leave them in.
Oh, there we go.
There's no need to needle him.
Something flies a special branch.
Yeah, that took 2% off the life of the cylinder heads as well.
Somebody's just gone boing.
I quite like Sharon Wright's takeoff method. Go sideways, then go down the hill and up.
Yep, nice hill, isn't it? Hard to resist.
Oh, I meant to give you a shout out, Lyndon. I'm off to your part of the world later in the year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to go and spend a week in Anglesey away from the kids.
All right, okay. It's the other end of the country from me, but it's where my wife's from, so yeah.
I didn't have the heart to tell my other half that Anglesey is also where RAF Valley is.
Yeah. Forgot to mention that, did you?
Yeah, nice quiet walks might be interrupted by 400 Northwalks coming past.
The small airfield, Mona, which they still use for practice, I believe. is is open. I think there's lots of events there and things.
Well, it was 486. We deliberately have hired out a tiny little cottage part of a farm. There's a pub within walking distance, basically.
Sounds ideal.
So are the girls getting ready for some wild parties while you're away?
I don't think they can afford it.
So roughly around heading of about 194. If you've got the latest flight plan, I added a small waypoint to just avoid the highest part of the mountain. Just go to the left of the mountain. Well, it's still at a fair height. About, you still need about 6,000 feet. It's very strange undulating land, this, with odd-shaped fields on it. It's quite like a pack where it's been laid down over hills. It's quite strange. Had my annual health check last week. Had the thumbs up as usual.
I hope it wasn't too painful.
I was going to say thumbs up where?
Remember, it's live on YouTube, everybody.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I go in next week myself. Fingers crossed.
That must make it harder.
I was going to say that's going to hurt.
Right, heading off en route.
Have you discovered how to stop Volanta turning round, Jonathan? How do you mean turning round? Well, as you're flying. Just press the recenter button. So you've gone quiet again.
There's a recenter button at the bottom.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, Roger.
Yep.
Yeah, that's done it.
You need to make tracks if you're still at the Coffee Break Airfield.
Yeah, that button's a toggle, Jonathan. Yeah. Oh, you're one of these people that double clicks on everything. Oh, not at all. My brother is. You ask him to click on anything and he clicks on it 15 times and then wonders why it's gone absolutely haywire. But it used to amuse me at work. I used to look after like IT support years ago, and yeah, you'd see people, something didn't work on their computer, so they'd start randomly pressing keys on the keyboard and then putting whole handprints down on the keyboard. That's not as funny as print jobs, Jonathan. You should know better than that. PC load letter. No. Just that, oh, well, it didn't print, so I clicked print again. You know, and it's just because the printer had no paper in. And then as soon as somebody puts a paper in, they get like 500 copies of the same letter.
That sounds like an ID10T problem.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favourites.
I was just wondering, Jonathan, did you ever have to use the immortal words of have you switched it on and off?
Oh, that was always the first thing. No, you ask them for the, you know, we'll put stickers on the machines so we can identify them. So you ask them for the number, and you say, what's the number? And he says, oh, well, I can't see it. You say, well, it's on the back of the machine. And he says, well, I still can't see it. And I said, well, why not? Well, the lights have been off for 2.5 hours. I think one of the best stories I've ever heard. Actually, there's a couple of stories from the same person, actually, and he won't mind me telling you them because they're great stories. First one, somebody called support where he was working and said, the instructions I've been given say to put this CD in a CD-ROM drive. I haven't got a CD-ROM drive on my PC. And they looked on the asset register and said, yes, you have. And they eventually went down there, and she'd had her PC pushed under the desk up against the heater, and it had melted the fascia so perfectly it looked like there was no CD-ROM drive.
I thought you were going to mention the cup. That's funny. The cup holder when they ejected the disc out.
No, yeah, there was a CD-ROM drive in there. It was just melted shut. The other one from the same person, they almost had an evacuation of the building because somebody put a box on the shelf in the storage room with a load of old hard drives in it, and they were all the same size. They were 130 megabytes. If you write down 130 MB and put the 1 and the 3 too close to each other, you've written bomb.
I have one of those. Anybody who has ever tried to idiot-proof anything has never encountered a sufficiently determined idiot.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah, that is very true.
I think I've said this one before. I once walked into somebody's office. They were having problems with their computers in the office. And the guy in charge in the office said to me as I walked in, we didn't touch anything, nobody's fiddled with anything. And then he pointed at somebody next to him and said, and you can keep your mouth shut.
That's a dead giveaway.
I'd forgotten how good this scenery is in Italy. It's very well done, isn't it?
Lovely, isn't it?
Yes, it's very, very nice.
I think the scenery just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Well, they keep quietly improving it.
It's getting better and better.
And seasons are coming as well, aren't they?
I thought that was a group, the Four Seasons.
I do wonder if that's why we sometimes see tiling, is because they're actually working on it under the cover of 2020 right now.
Yeah, quite possible.
I mean, they're going to make so many improvements, you're going to wonder, do you actually want to go to 24? I no doubt we all will, but as they keep improving everything.
If they make the engine multi-threaded, everybody will switch instantly.
I definitely would, because I need that because I'm on an old CPU.
I know from, obviously I work as a developer, it's very easy to say make something multi-threaded. It's basically a rewrite from the ground up.
Yeah, it's very specific.
What does multi-threaded mean?
Inside the processor, in a modern processor, there are many, many smaller processors. So there's not one CPU anymore. There's actually, like if you think about a graphics card, graphics cards have thousands of CPU, or not CPUs, but special purpose processors inside of them. They all work in parallel, so they all deal with a small part of the screen, for example. Okay. That's how they get the speed.
CUDA cores, right?
Yeah. So inside a modern CPU, and obviously the main CPU in the computer is general purpose, so it can do more than just the maths for drawing things. But yeah, PCs have had many, many cores for years. Flight Sim only uses one.
I did not know that.
Okay.
It does mean that Windows gets to carry on with stuff while Flight Sim is busy, but Flight Sim itself could be using kind of 8 or 10 cores depending on what CPU you've got.
It just has to keep track of what each part of itself is doing.
And that's the nightmare. That's why the programming is so hard to do multi-threaded stuff. It's like watching 10 pots boil at once all the time.
I was going to say, is it not the fact that the programmers won't document anything, so they keep giving each other a nightmare?
That's quite annoying when you get a very good programmer that doesn't comment anything. It's quite annoying.
It's quite common as well that the most gifted are the most difficult to... they don't play well with others typically.
Yeah,
it's called staying employed.
Just commenting helps yourself. When you come back to something in 8 years' time, you can remember, why on earth did I multiply that 3.7 minus so-and-so?
That's what I always say to people is, yeah, if you document it well, you'll remember what you've done.
Well, it sounds like the human model for a single core processor.
Yes. Of course, the reason, if anybody didn't know this, the reason that they're having to go the multi-core route to do these things is a problem with radio interference and heat. Those are the two things you're fighting against. Because once you get to a certain number of megahertz around the motherboard, you start to get radio interference between everything.
I'm paying attention now.
Cosmic rays too.
They had it with the first generation of Pentiums. They thought they'd hit a brick wall with it. With you know, with the various chips actually generating radio signals accidentally.
Jonathan, in multi-core, does each core have its own clock, or is there only one clock for the whole CPU?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I would imagine on the more clever ones, each, yeah, they would be individual, which makes that programming even more difficult.
Right, exactly. If it were a single clock, it'd be a lot easier.
Asynchronous programming is a nightmare to read because everything is like, do this and tell me when you've done it. And you've got these wait lists or task lists everywhere.
Callbacks, right?
Yeah.
Remind me to tell you about the NMIs one time.
What were they?
Non-maskable interrupts.
Sounds like something you get at a hospital.
Makes your eyes water.
Everybody's disappeared off my sim. I can't see anybody.
It's an 80 processor.
Now go to your turn this Sunday.
Hint of snow on these mountain tops.
Yeah, the modern graphics cards are really amazing. The stuff they do. It's drawing the scene, or figuring out what's in front of what, or how the sun should hit it, and all that kind of thing. Is all done in hardware. So you tell the card, here's the description of the scene. Draw it for me.
It's what most of the machine learning is running on those cores.
Yep.
No, it says, I'm sorry, I can't do that. There's too many labels in front of it.
That's the future of IT. They call it LPU.
Oh. Sorry, go on.
Yes, I was just saying LPU. It's for Label Processing Unit.
This is going to sound incredibly nerdy, but there's a fantastic lecture on, I think there's one of the YouTube channels is a load of professors at the universities in the UK, and they go into like things that were kind of important discoveries. When the programmers, has anybody played Quake?
Oh yeah.
So
during the previous century, right?
Yeah.
You mean horoscope skiing?
There's a clever maths trick that was invented by the main programmer. I think it was on Quake.
That was actually Doom, I think, Jonathan.
It's to do with figuring out the normals to angles that are in a three-dimensional world. So, the reason normals are important, you're figuring out if a surface is facing towards you or away from you. And there was a very, very clever computer maths trick discovered that made it thousands of times faster to do that maths. And it's been in everything ever done since. But it took basically a maths professor half an hour to explain the maths trick. But a programmer came up with it.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about that one that's in Doom. I don't remember what it does, but it has something to do with figuring out square roots, and they found a shortcut.
Yep, it's probably the same thing.
Very accurate, close enough to do the math with.
As you come towards waypoint 4, just head for the V's in the valley, in the sort of hills. You'll see a big V. There's one of those that goes between the wind turbines. Up on the path.
Very nice.
There's no wind, so I'm just heading for the direct in runway, which I can't think what it would be. It's going to be about 2-4.
2-6.
2-6, yeah.
Sounds good, yeah, 2-6.
Yeah, it's easy to take for granted looking out the windows of these pretend aeroplanes just how much hard work the computer's doing to draw it all.
Oh, it's a bridge.
That was a close call, Malcolm.
Too many trees. This airfield's got like an avenue of trees. It's not obvious. Just follow the avenue of trees. Sort of two parallel roads. It's quite easy to spot. So for once there isn't a tree on the end of the runway.
We'll write and complain.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a chainsaw add-in. You can get it from flightsim.to.
Is that a hack?
Yeah. Some hack in Redmond came up with it for sure. The tree algorithm.
Yep.
Probably still sitting in their cube laughing about it.
I wonder if Asobo knew what they were getting involved in when they took on the contract for Flight Simulator.
Yes, because they were probably thinking about the previous flight sims, weren't they? And then Microsoft said, "Well, actually, we've got something different planned."
Because it's turned from, a 4 or 5 year plan to a 10 or 15 year plan, hasn't it?
Because it's an ongoing, isn't it? I mean, as we keep getting the updates, it's not like the old ones where it was out on discs or whatever the latest means of delivery is, and that's it. It's as you say, ongoing and ongoing.
I wonder how many cassettes you'd need to load Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Please insert this.
5 1/4-inch discs.
Well, the old floppies.
Yeah.
Cassette tapes, they'd be even better, yeah.
8-inch.
I bet you've installed Office before by floppy disk, Jonathan.
I have.
You need a reel-to-reel.
Yeah, Windows for Work Groups, 42 discs, and it'll fail on disk 41.
I always remember I went to one of the, can remember we used to have PC shows and stuff. I went to one and I was arguing with this bloke because I like my Amiga because it multitasks so well. And he's going, well, PCs can multitask. You. Which I thought was quite funny.
But yeah, cassette tapes with the ZX Spectrum.
the Commodore 64.
So I only just got that joke. I'm just giggling to myself over here. The only problem with this TBM 850 is it doesn't like slowing down.
One thing to note, laps 1 can be done at 178 as well as the gear.
To our left is a field of our biggest fans.
I was going to say, how wide is this runway?
Someone going to come out with a really wide but very short joke.
Not tonight.
Oh, it looks a bit better now, but from a distance it looked really narrow.
So from this airfield you need a steady climb 800 feet up per minute for about 7,000 feet. But then you need to drop down very quickly behind the mountains. Right.
I just realised when I lost the internet earlier, it also switched off the data for the graph, for the scenery.
So time-wise, we've got about 30 miles, I guess, to the next airfield. Do we want to stop there or carry on to the last one? Getting a bit tight on time is what I'm thinking.
I'm happy to carry on.
Yeah, and me.
Me too.
Okay, gotta go.
Yep.
Same.
I'm in.
And where no, sorry, I mean.
See what? No.
Of course, if we'd been in Spain, we'd have just said, okay.
So somebody watching the live stream has asked where we are flying. We are in Italy, the south of Italy. I'm not going to try and guess the name of this particular range of hills and mountains because I don't know Italy very well.
No, I can't see an area name.
Il Parco Nazionale della Magella.
Personally, I'd go for big and nasty.
Is that with garlic bread?
Trying to see a big town name so I could say we're so far north of wherever, but I can't see one.
Well, Naples and Rome are to the south of us.
Yeah, okay.
I would say Rome's to the west of us. Isn't it?
Yes, sorry.
That's good, I'm in the right place then.
It doesn't matter, north, south, east, west, all roads lead to Rome.
Even if you have to go all the way around the world to do it.
Great flight, Cliff. I've got to call it a day here in Solano. I've got to go check on my patient. Y'all have a good week.
Yeah. See you next
Cheers,
week.
then.
See you, Joe.
See you soon.
Cheers, Joe.
See ya.
See you, Joe.
Night, everybody.
A lovely gorge up here begging to be flying through.
Yeah. I guess it would have flown faster. I think we could have flown more of the valleys, taken a more convoluted routes.
I think it's very nice what we've done.
these hills do have slightly rounded tops, like they're modelled. They look a bit like mountains. They've had a carpet draped over the top.
Runway 5 or runway 23 for this next one?
LittleNavMap is saying 23.
23 it is.
There's all kinds of little villages tucked away in here.
Yeah, it's got that rolling green hill. It's a bit like Hobbit land, isn't it? Yeah, just little towns on the riverside.
Wonder where the closest Walmart is.
Don't think they have them in Italy, Sammy.
Target?
Nope.
No, I thought that was French for Chez.
Yeah, that's how we say it in the South.
There'll probably be a Liddy hanging around somewhere.
I wonder how the logistics does work places like this though, where you have lots of villages across mountain ranges and hills. I wonder how they do get stuff in and out of them every day. If it's trucks or planes or
Ferraris.
Horse-drawn carriages, maybe.
Yeah, I don't see too many grass runways around here.
Yeah, just where the airfield is, obviously there's a huge industrial complex here with, warehouses and probably storage for logistics, things that are dropped by aeroplane and then taken off in vans to the villages. It's a whole field full of solar panels.
Still haven't positively made the runway out yet.
Yeah, I think I've seen it, but I think I've made this mistake before. Oh yeah, I've got it. It's on the edge of the right-hand edge of the industrial units.
Okay, yeah, is it sort of next to that road, directly next to the road before the solar panels
Yeah.
or after the solar panels? Yeah.
It's a big pylon.
Hi, Jonathan.
slightly ahead, so I'm moving around.
Yeah, I think I've got the wrong side of a ridge here. I'll have to pop over the top.
I nearly did that a few times. City on the hill below me now. Town. So what's everybody's favourite Italian meal?
Pio Ossobuco.
Don't know that one.
Veal shank tenderized and pounded and braised in a demi-glace.
Veal piccata.
Ah, good old veal meat again.
Again, it took me far too long to get that joke. You know it's a good joke when it lands with a resounding thud, don't you?
You can hear all the cogs turning and somebody eventually laughs. Yeah.
My LittleNavMap isn't showing me preferred runway, so...
No, it's not showing me either, but it's 3 knots, 360, so it's take your pick really.
So we just do 11, please.
LittleNavMap on mine is saying 29.
Oh, okay.
Left hand for 29.
As we're closing in on our last airport, I just say tomorrow night we're in the Philippines.
I can't join you unfortunately, so have a good flight.
Can't always be there.
life thing gets in the way. It's quite annoying.
Life keeps you grounded, literally.
That's a small runway.
Well, it says it's 1,595 feet. It says.
Yeah, and there's quite tall trees at each end.
Again?
Is there pylons too?
No, but the trees are going to be a challenge, I think. We'll see.
There was a longer grass one just to the south if you're feeling chicken.
Do you want to use your aeroplane again?
I got plenty more in a hangar, it's not a problem.
Hold my limoncello.
I think I might circle overhead and watch.
Watch for carnage.
Runway.
For 9.
Yeah, I should have gone for that slightly longer runway next time.
Lima India Golf Delta, yes.
And there are pylons here as well, so we've got it all.
Oh, Emmanuel's just showing off. He just stopped in about half the runway length.
Yeah, it's definitely doable.
But he is going to be picking leaves out of the undercarriage.
Right, here we go.
Seating. Done it twice.
Landing in someone's car park.
I think I can see somebody's brakes going on fire.
That's me. I stopped with, I reckon, 8 feet to go.
Only small trees. Well, one bit.
So no drift this time.
That Hawk's got no undercarriage.
Correct.
As now. So that's how you do the short field landings.
Nah, you caught that.
Coming in.
That Trilander only just made it.
There we go, slightly extended tour of part of Italy.
That's very nice, thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely.
I'll watch the duration next time.
Right, I shall call it a day there. Thanks very much.
Yeah, see you all next week.
See you soon.
Very nice tour.
Thank you, Cliff. That was a very interesting couple of airfields.
Jolly good.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Okay, have a good night, everybody.
Bye bye. Thanks so much.
Yeah, see you all.
See you soon.
Cheers for that, Cliff.
I'm watching these last couple come in, see how they do.
With undercarriage.
Just stopped in time. Look at that, judge to perfection.
Nah, just lucky.
Is anybody going to the flight sim weekend in Lelystad in 2 weeks?
No.
Thanks a lot and have a good night.
Okay, good night all.
Good night.
Yeah,
soon.
thanks everybody. I'm off as well.
Bye.
Cheers for now. Thanks, Cliff.
Good night, good, thank you.
I don't know about anybody else, but when I was coming into this airfield, I was doing a really good impression of one of those airline pilots when they're soaring away at the control column in a crosswind.
Yeah, it was maximum concentration on finals, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Although I did manage to come in to the right of those trees.
Right, I'm going to end the live stream, so I'll see you all again soon.